Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Mario 3 randomizer. This will be exhibition race between JLo 7 and Raikou Rider. I am your host, Pro A007. I'm very happy to be here tonight. This should be an interesting race between two competitors, both of whom competed in the uh, apologies for the echo, who participated in the Mario 3 randomizer tournament. So, what is a Mario 3 randomizer? Well, it's the Mario 3 you know and love, with all of the world order scrambled, levels scrambled, fortresses scrambled, and even some some enemy randomization. So where there was no boss bass, you will see boss bass. Where there were no angry suns, you will see angry suns, and everything in between. So this will be an interesting exhibition between two competitors, both of whom have been very active in the Mario 3 randomizer community. And some of you have probably already seen various races over the last 6 weeks or so between over 50 competitors in the inaugural Mario 3 randomizer. And actually, the final match is in a couple of hours between Mitch Flower Power and Duckfist. That'll be an interesting matchup. And what's interesting is you don't necessarily have to be an accomplished speedrunner in Mario 3. It certainly doesn't hurt, but you really have to learn how to think and improvise on your feet in this game and deal with the unexpected challenges that come your way. And it will be interesting to see how these runners adapt to some of the unpredictable challenges that await. What else is there? Oh, yes. The end card games, as you may remember, will also be giving out randomized items. And what you will see here is, for example, if you get a flower, normally in the regular game, you get a flower. In this case, not so much. You could end up getting a hammer or a cloud or a frog suit. And the hammers in particular are going to be very important in this version of the randomizer because the hammers break not only the boulders, but they also uh, will break locks. So, I like chat. Winner will be declared the wizard and win a trip to California. Yes, indeed. They'll hope there are going to be fewer shenanigans than the scoring in that game, let me tell you. So, are there any questions from chat about Mario 3 Randomizer? Happy to answer any of them. I played quite a few myself and did participate in the tournament. And we're off. So, right away, you're going to see them in World 4, Giant Land. So, you'll also notice the pipe locations are randomized. So, in particular worlds, and most notably worlds 3, 7, and 8, it's going to be fairly dicey. You could end up getting the correct pipe, or you could end up going somewhere else altogether. So they get a nice, easy level to start off with. They get the second-hand level of World 8. The second hand level. So right away you're already seeing how different this game can be as far as right away you're already what to expect. So we've had 8-2, and now we have the pyramid level from World 2 right off the bat. So Raikou getting off to a good start. He's had to be a little careful there with the big hammer bro. Tanuki suit for Raikou. J-Lo's going ahead, and we have our first boss bass sighting in 4-3, which is 6-1 today. So boss bass in this version of the randomizer will appear early and fairly often, and ooh, well, we had two very different deaths there. Death by falling and death by boss bass. I'm not sure which is worse. So 6-1 is not an especially hard level, but the piranha plants are not making this easy in the first half of the level for them. But a nice star in at the end there will allow Raikou to finish this off easily. Boss Bass 2, players 0. Yep, pretty much. So Raikou is taking no chances and just opts to use his Tanuki suit. He gets a star for his troubles. Items from Hammer Bros are also randomized, so you're hoping for hammers and clouds. And we have our first vanilla level, the first fortress of World 4. Now we could yell Fred because Fred F. Coughlin is, of course, the creator of the randomizer, and whenever we get something vanilla, well, he gets blamed for this. Both players opting to take the low route through the fortress. So the number of vanilla levels you get in a randomizer varies. It's usually somewhere between 3 and 8. There are also 8 lost levels that were found in the original code when they put this randomizer together, and they've been included in the mix. Most of them are half-finished levels, but there are some interesting ones all the same. So 4-4 is 5-3, one of the only levels where you spend a significant amount of time going left, which can throw people off just on that basis alone. So Raikou taking an unfortunate death there. Moving right along. Depending on the enemy placement, 5-3 can be fairly challenging. This one isn't as bad as some of the others I've seen, but J-Lo looks like he's trying to get another item and gets a star, which is going to help him get to the end of this level just fine, as long as he doesn't fall over. So it's Raikou having a little trouble there, but gets through, and meanwhile J-Lo's on his way to his second hammer bro. Gets another star. Question chat, do warp whistles actually work? No, they've been disabled for this version of the randomizer. You can turn warp whistles on, but for the sake of this particular seed, there are no warp whistles. So 4-6 is 2-5, another fairly short level. But you can get caught with the enemy placement sometimes. Sometimes they throw something really nasty in there. So at 80,000 points, we have our first end card, and so the order of items that you may have familiarized yourself with will not apply here. So runners will often use some sort of writing to assist them as they go along. And we have our second vanilla level. It's 2 fortresses in a row. Fred, you are doing a bang-up job here with your randomization. So, Raiko having a little trouble with the big hammer, bro, and he's gonna have to do this again. Could be trouble. It's underwater and he's little, so he's got to be very careful. Yeah. Fred knows we love him. He's taking it all in stride. So they're about even in terms of levels. Balo taking an unfortunate death. Raiko managing to slip past. So J-Lo is going to see what kind of end card he gets. He's 0-2 on his matches. Okay, so now we have the timer. And I hope, we are good with the audio. So, first airship of the game is World 2 airship, and another thing you're going to notice is all the auto-scrollers have been turned off with 2 exceptions. That includes airships, the military levels, World 8, etc., etc. All of those have been turned off. The only levels that have auto-scrollers still are 5, 9, and one of the Lost levels, because they couldn't complete them otherwise. So Raiko finishes first at about 8:45. J-Lo's about 45 seconds behind. And what you may have noticed with the Koopa kids is they don't necessarily take 3 hits. They can take anywhere from 1 to 5 hits, and their characteristics are randomized. So, for example, Iggy could have the ability to shake the ground like Lemmy, or not Lemmy, Roy or Ludwig. So the second world is World 6. And unfortunately, he does not have a hammer, so he can't skip the first couple of levels here. So he's going to have to play this normally. So 6-1, we have another World 2 level, the Quicksand or Oasis level with Vanilla Angry Sun. Fred gets a pass for the sun in the Oasis level, and that's actually more common than you think. So 6-2 is 5-5, another fairly short level. Shouldn't be too hard for Raikou. Got to be careful with his jumps, but he's fine. So yeah, there's about a 1.5 level difference between our 2 runners, and Raikou deciding to take the 5 up here, which is which is fairly common early on in a run. You just want to get yourself a nice stockpile of lives in case you do run into a really trolly level, like say 7-5 or something like that. So it's good. It's good insurance if nothing else. Raikou picking up a Lakitu Cloud. Those will come in handy at various stages in the run. If you just want to skip a level and just get straight to the end of a world, or you want to skip a bad level, that's when you'd use them. So first fortress of World 6 was World 5 Fort 1. No problem for Raikou, he takes care of it. Looks like J-Lo is going to play 6-3. Having to wait for those Hammer Bros. Man, that took a long time. So 6-3 is our first lost level, and this is kind of a variant on 6-4 to some degree, and a little of 4-2. So it's world appropriate, I suppose, but J-Lo having a little trouble in the water there. Good thing he doesn't freeze. Uh, 6-4 is 3-8. Sans Boss Bass. And yes, there are 8 lost levels, Jordan. The lost levels are levels that were found in the code when they were putting the randomizer together, but were not included in the final cut. So you'll see these levels being included in the mix. So even if you 100%ed this game, you you will never play every single level. So Raikou got 7-6 for 6-5. He's going to go for the clip here. He's going to trying to clip through the wall using a certain sub-pixel and hope that it works. And there it is. So that's one of 2 ways you can skip that. You can also use a P-wing and fly over the top. Trick that also works in 6-9. Nice double kill by Raikou. J-Lo getting some matches here with the end cards. He's got 3 already and starting to build a nice little stockpile of items. So 6-7 is 1-3, which now obviously we know that there is a warp whistle normally in this game. Well, that's been taken out, the warp whistle that is, but a hidden item is still there. What will it be? And this is early enough in the run where going for this is actually a good idea. Now pay no attention to what Toad says. That is not a whistle. He's having a funny with us. It's an anchor. Now the anchor is an interesting item in this game because it is a randomized item. Normally this is used to keep the airships from flying around if you die. However, in this version of the game, it could be anything. J-Lo, Raikou, trying to go for a little bit of a sequence break and did not quite get it, so he's actually going to skip, and incidentally, that was another Fred Fortress. So, Fred, you are 3 for 4 on Fortresses. That's incredible. Raikou's going for another hidden item here. I think he missed the boat here. Oh no, he's using the Koopa shell. Okay, I see. So 6-8 is 5-1, and this has become a fairly popular strategy among some of the runners in our tournament to go for this hidden item. It's a Lakitu Cloud, so time well spent. Skip another level. We skipped a level to skip a level. That's interesting. So 6-6 was 3-6. 6-9 is 5-2. Another pretty short and simple level, provided you get to the top path, which Raikou does with ease. So interesting. J-Lo didn't go for the P-Wing skip in 7-6 would have been a lot faster than the route he did take, but maybe he doesn't know it. Not sure. Oh, 6-10, excuse me. Third fortress of World 6 is the World 8 fortress. And just to highlight something Jordan said about this game having so many secrets, he's right. And throughout the tournament, I've seen in just through the commentaries and the chats, people discovering secrets they didn't know about this game. And this game is 28 years old, and they've been probably playing for well over half of that time. So, you know, how many games do you know of, especially games like this, where that could even be possible? Testament, I think, to how special this game truly is. So, ooh, Raikou was a little early there on getting out from the spike tunnel, so he had to settle for taking out Boom Boom the normal way. Raikou gonna help himself to another end card game, and I think he's got it. He should know where everything is by, yeah. This should be a cinch. Very nicely done. Now, unfortunately, the end card game did not yield anything especially useful. No Lakitu clouds, no hammers. Fred has gotten his 4th vanilla level. World 6 airship, so get your Freds out. But yeah, so no Lakitu clouds, no hammers, and really nothing that can help these runners skip enormous chunks of the game. 6-9 I see is another lost level. Right, Lemmy is really the only Koopa kid that really has no special attributes other than hit points. He can be anywhere from 1 to 5 hit points. And 5 hit points can be a little tricky with all these balls bouncing around. I think that was a 5. So, but Raikou is out at 1852, so it's about a 10-minute world for him. Okay, so again, about a 2.5 level difference overall, because World 8 Fortress is pretty long. And Princess telling us we can't speedrun a randomizer. Well, we would beg to differ about that, but that's another story for another day. So no hammers, so he cannot skip the first half of World 1. He's going to have to play this through. And 1-1 is 3-3, another level known for Boss Bass, but not in today's seed, folks. Yeah, so a surprisingly hammerless seed so far, and it's not for lack of trying. They've gone through all the hammer bros and all that, but not getting a lot of help here. 1-2 is the third hand level. The item you receive will be for the hand levels will be the same. So they got a mushroom, I believe. So the next this one will also be a mushroom. J-Lo doing a little moonwalking there to grab his item to close out the fortress. World 1 fortress is the Navy. The Navy, Air Force, and Super Tanks levels from World 8 have been included with the fortress levels because they end with Boom Boom. The first level of World 8, the Army level, if you will, is included with the regular level set because it ends with a Hammer Bro. No, Jordan, it does not say frames, it just looks cool. 1-5, another World 3 level, 3-2. We've had a interesting mix of levels so far. We've had something from every world except World 7 so far. So, knowing these runners, fingers crossed. Well, actually, I take it back. No, 7-6, so I'm sorry. But if that's all they get from World 7, I'm sure they'll be very happy. JLo's about... finishes World 2 is about 3 minutes behind based on when they completed and they grabbed the wand from Lemmy. Another Lakitu Cloud for Raikou. So 8-1 is 1-6, and not surprisingly, Raikou is just going to skip it and go straight to the airship, so he should be okay. He's got the World 5 airship, and so long as Larry doesn't pull any surprises, he'll be fine. He's normal, so it's just going to be a question of just hitting him however many times. So it's 3, 4, I think that's a full 5, or... it was a 5 spot. 2250. Oh, anchors are clouds? Very interesting. So... use them and use them often. So a good gamble there by JLo pays off very nicely. Now, the king of World 1 bring up a question I myself have wondered. Why didn't he use the wand to stop the Koopas? Well, so now World 3 is up next, so he's going to hope for the God Pipe here, and he got it. So he just saved himself a lot of trouble. Plays straight on through to the end. But that pipe could have taken him to any one of 5 pipe. And depending on where it was, could have been interesting. So, but now we come to Wendy, who has ruined many a run and race. But not this time, it's a 2-hitter. And Raikou is out at 24:04, so a 75-second World 4. Or World 3, if you prefer. So very nicely done by Raikou, and, you know, keeping his wits about him, because it's easy to panic when you're little and Wendy is throwing hoops at you. Little Dire Straits reference for those of you who know who that is. And JLo actually showing some very nice backup play just to get through that second half of 3-2 there. But World 5 is World 5. Bound to happen sooner or later. We gonna forgive Fred for that? Coins for nothing and princesses for free. Well, kind of catchy. JLo deciding to take a death and either use his cloud or key wing over it. So 5-2, the dreaded 6-6. This is not a level you want to see really ever. level is already hard enough as it is in vanilla, but you throw in an unpredictable enemy pattern and it can get downright nasty. And it can be extremely laggy on top of that, so... So, Raiko actually going for the fortress and gets that World 7 Fort 1. Which is one of 2 levels in the game you absolutely must have the ability to fly to complete, the other being, of course, 6-5. Oof, J-Lo getting caught by wandering. Ooh! Takes a somewhat questionable hit there from the hitbox. That's unfortunate. Do it again. Back, and he's got raccoon ability, so he should be okay here. Nicely done by Raiko, J-Lo, I mean, and he's done it about 27 flats, so he's about 4 minutes behind right now, but a lot of time left, and World 4 will be really quick. Double fire, Raiko managing to navigate double fire bros very nicely. Yeah, so he's in the tower, and that is one of 4 levels in the game that will never be randomized because of the way, in this case, the way it's structured into the game's code. So the World 5 tower will always be the World 5 tower. The 2 piranhas in Pipeland will always be the same. And of course, Bowser will always be the same. Wouldn't that be funny? You go to Bowser's castle and it's 1-1. Kind of an odd bit of symmetry there. So J-Lo is done in 28-16, so still about 4+ minutes behind. And Raiko still can't still can't buy a hammer to save himself right now. That's unfortunate. So he'll have to play this through, and 5-4 luckily is 3-1. To answer Ninja Penguin's question, yes, you can, but it's not going to insta-kill the Koopa Kid. So you still have to hit them however many times it takes. Though you still can, if you are lucky, you can use the star on to get to Boom Boom from time to time. It depends, but there are a couple of cases where it does work. It does happen. 6 Fort 1, of course, does it. 4 Fort 1 can give you a star in the right spot. Stars Raiko using his star very effectively to get through 4-3, which is one of the more challenging levels you see early on in the game because of all the precise jumping you have to do, and it can be fairly trolly in randomizer because of the enemies that can pop up. So 5-7 is 1-5, another pretty short and simple level. J-Lo looks like he's going to play 6-6 on his head be it, but see how bad this turns out to be. There are a lot of bloopers. There's a blooper. There's a Big Bertha. Another blooper. Man. This is Lag City. Little cheap. Zombie fish. No mushroom for him, so be a little careful here. 5-7 Fort is the World 1 fort, another fortress with an item. Ooh, got clipped by the disco ball. That's too bad. Maybe it would have been that hammer. Although the hammer's usefulness is it hasn't quite dwindled, but the opportunity to use one have. Still have World 2 and World 7 still to play. Hammers can come in very handy in both worlds, but Seed isn't giving them away today. Oh boy. 5-8 is 7-8, another level that has broken a couple of runners' races during the tournament. This is arguably the hardest level in the regular game, and throw in a little vanilla and it can get downright ugly. Not even a little vanilla, throw a little rando. Yeah. I used to know how to talk. Oh, that's unfortunate. From Raiko, he's gonna have to do it again. He's gonna use his Lakitu Cloud to skip it and gets 7-4. Now this is a level that's somewhat notorious in vanilla because of the auto-scrolling and how slow it is. Well, they turned that off. So it's a much freer level than you remember. That said, there are a few tricky spots here and there. Got to be a little careful, but Raiko's having trouble here. J-Lo looks like 5-3 is 5-8, one of my least favorite levels in the game because of Mr. Lakitu and his spiny friends, and man oh man. Yeah, he's gonna take the fort, and good call with the raccoon. Ooh, Raiko getting bodied by Hammer Bros, so he's gonna do that again, this time with star power. Another P-Wing, so hammers remain extremely elusive. World 1 airship, World 5. J-Lo gonna try and finish out the end card game. Himself a few more items. No luck there. Should have it the next time around. So Raiko takes care of Roy at 33-40. So he is comfortably ahead going into World 6. So the only two worlds left on the board are Worlds 2 and 7. Oof, another unfortunate death for J-Lo. He's got a couple of Lakitu clouds at his disposal. Okay, that time he gets it. So now World 7 is basically a giant guessing game. You want to get to the right side island, you want to either have one that'll take you to 7-7 or 7-8, or you want to get, if you have a hammer, you're hoping for the one that leads right next to 7-9. Speaking of 7-9, here we go. 7-1, 7-9, another popular level for Angry Sons and Boss Basses, though luckily neither is showing up here. Some Karibo shoes, though. So, and incidentally, if you are interested in the Mario 3 randomizer, there is a Discord which will have all the information you need, and the Randroid here has it all for you. And the community is very open and very supportive, and has really been very positive and always looking for new members, and people, there's always a race going on somewhere. So if you like Mario 3 or, just are like randomizers, I think you'll like this one. It doesn't have as steep a learning curve as perhaps some of the others do, but it's a lot of fun, especially for Mario fans. So Raiko got the correct pipe and is through. He gets 8-2 and 7-9. And J-Lo actually went to the top of the pipe there. That's pretty hard to do. So Raiko taking the lower route to skip the first large chunk of this level. He's going to go for the jump and goes for the baby skip. Complete it. So 2 to go. Okay, he's using the Lakitu Cloud to skip the World 742. Gets the second Piranha. Another free item for him. And it's a music box, so not especially useful here, fortunately. Free and clear, and World 7 airship is another Fred sighting. That's number 5. So we've had 3 fortresses and 2 airships come up vanilla. Fred. I don't care if it's a 1 in 7 chance of it being a vanilla. We know vanilla. So, he took intentional death there, and it's just going to P-wing his way through it. Right, and J-Lo, meanwhile, having a little trouble with 1-5, so he's going to have to deal with the Hammer Brother first, and then get on with it. Raiko going for a clip. I think he got it. This is going to save him about 2 or 3 seconds, I think. Yeah, he got it. So basically, ooh. 5-6 is vanilla. That's another Fred sighting. Not surprisingly, after seeing 5-6, he's going back to 5-7. 2-1 is 1-1. And Boss Bass is in full force. With that star in his arsenal, he should be okay. He's got to be a little careful, though. But Raiko's done enough of these. He's got it under control. He outruns Boss Bass to the finish. Let's see if J-Lo gets that item. 2-2 is 6-2, so we're seeing a little bit of, we're seeing like half symmetry. 1-1 and 2-1, 6-2 in 2-2. Fortunately, that item was just a fire flower, so kind of a letdown there. Ooh, that jump always gets me. It's a lot easier when you have the auto scroller on. Okay, let's skipping. Ooh. Yeah, he's gonna go and take that item. Instead of a hammer suit, it's a fire flower, which is fine. I'm sure he's gonna sneeze at that. World 3 Fort 1 in the desert. And yeah, Starstreak, it does look like it's gonna be hammerless. That's very unusual. You usually are good for at least 1 hammer in a seed, but today they've gone over. And they've had extra chances at items too. Let's see if this breaks it. Nope, just a mushroom. I wonder if they turned it off. What if they might have turned it off? possible, but seems a little unlikely. 2-3 is 1-4. Another auto-scroller turned off. Raiko is taking full advantage of his star to just fly through that level. So, J-Lo finishes off Roy. But, took some knocks in that level, and he's about 7.5 minutes behind. And now, the quicksand / oasis level is 5-9. A fairly notorious level in vanilla, mainly because of the two fire chain chomps that come after you. Well, in this, as I said, enemies are randomized, and unfortunately, the first one still appeared. The second one might not. So, and it did. Oof. Careful here. Should be okay. As far as timing, yep, it's fine. But, you never know. Nice handled by Raiko. He's moving on. 2-5. And it's 7-3. So, J-Lo about to start 7-9. What's the Fred for? What did we get that was vanilla? Well, that's more of a question of percentages than anything, but yes, unfortunately, if you want, blame Fred for that. Pyramid is 6-4, another pretty short level. Fire chomps like to be this level for some reason. No. Fire chains and fire chomps, they love this level. They love that level for some reason. One hammer bro away. And he is done. And there is our hammer. Well, well, well. It took 7 worlds, but he finally got it. And oh, does he look dumb? And does Raiko look a little red right now? Saving that anchor, and doesn't even get to use it. So that's that is unfortunate. Well, the hammer is not completely useless in World 8, but you are facing somewhat dimmer odds of actually being able to utilize it. But we'll see what kind of draw he gets with the pipes. Could be a god pipe, or he could have to explore all of World 8. Well, he has to play at least one level. Ooh, J-Lo, fortunately cannot go through that pipe while he's big and with a star, not unless he has P-speed. Raiko learning that the king speaks with an authentic Mushroom Kingdom accent, whatever the hell that means. And it is 7-1 to lead off, and gets the clip on the second try. Very nicely done by Raiko. Very nicely done. That's a lot harder than you think, especially with a tail. So props to Raiko for that. World 7-4-2 turned out to be 6-4-3, so the pipe odyssey continues for Raiko. He's in the dark section. He's got a hammer, he's gonna use it. So perhaps see. Okay, that's informative. So he's gonna play the fort, and it is the super tanks level. So he's gonna use this to access 2 more pipes, one of which he hopes will take him straight to Bowser. So, if nothing else, we're going to get a much clearer picture where this is going to take, where all this leads. And the hand bridge required. Moment of truth. Nope. He's one step away from Bowser. The penultimate level of the game is World 542. I actually forgot that Night Winds. Thank you. That actually makes a lot of sense. Appreciate it. So, unfortunately, no hammer for Raikou, so he's going to have to play this normally. Now, if he had a hammer suit, he could hit Bowser 5 times with the hammers, and that would be it. Fortunately, he's going to have to do this the hard way, but he's still on his way to a sub 50 seed, which, when you consider that there was only one hammer in the entire seed, that's pretty good. J-Lo just getting started with World 7. He's about 10 minutes behind by my count, so he's got a shot at a sub 60 seed, but he's going to have to hustle a bit. Oh, an unfortunate death there. Oof. That is unfortunate. So, get out your GGs for Raikou Rider, who wins this exhibition race with an official time of about 48:58. 48:59. So, GGs to Raikou Rider for a fine run. J-Lo scrambling but gets through. So well done by Raikou Rider. See if he's up for an interview in a minute. Get his thoughts on the most yes he is, and don't call me Shirley. And of course, everyone in here speaks jive, no doubt. So Raikou's on his way in. J-Lo loses his Fire Flower, but gets through that no problem. Or easy, but boom boom fight up ahead and he'll be done. I don't know what his cloud situation is. He should have a few left, and I think he's gonna make good use of them. Welcome, Raikou Rider. GG.
So, Mario had to take a trip all the way to Swamp Palace to find that hammer.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, chat was asking the same thing, like, where are the hammers? Why aren't you getting any hammers?
Like, there were no hammers in the seed up until that hammer bro right in front of the 7th castle, and at that point I felt like the game was just throwing one giant kappa at me.
That's about it. I mean, after that, it's like somebody is laughing at you, and well, they have to be so cruel about it.
I'm honestly surprised that I sub-50'd this seed, even though you got no hammers whatsoever.
Well, you got the God Pipe in World 3, that helped. You got a near God Pipe in World 7. World 8 wasn't especially long, so you got a couple of breaks there. But yeah, you didn't get anything in World 6. You had to play that straight through.
This seed, it was just stingy with items in general.
Yeah, almost nothing from the end cards.
Yeah, I've played one end card, and there were 2 clouds in the end card, but that wasn't worth it to me.
Well, and then who knew the anchor was actually a a cloud? I was like,
yeah, I found that out. I found that out the hard way because I was small going into the airship, and it was airship 2 that was left. So I'm like, you know what? I want to find out what this is, and I kind of stared at my screen for a few minutes when I found out that it was a cloud. And at that point, I was thinking, that cloud isn't going to be helpful anyway, because generally clouds aren't helpful in World 8 to begin with.
Yeah, not unless you have to sort of reverse engineer your way through the Dark Land.
That's the only time that a cloud is ever really useful in World 8 is if you know that one side of the fort is a dud, you can cloud the fort, but that's about it.
Yeah, and that wouldn't have paid off in your case because the lock protected the spot that led you to Bowser, I believe.
Correct.
So the only thing that the hammer ended up actually doing for you was more or less confirming you didn't have to play Navy.
It just gave me information, is what it did.
Yeah.
At that point, the hammer is just another cloud anyway, which is okay because.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. At the beginning of this seed, I was also wondering if we had accidentally not shuffled the fortresses because we had, I think, 3 of our first 4 fortresses were vanilla.
Yeah. We had 3 vanilla fortresses, 2 vanilla airships, and 5-6 was also vanilla.
Oh, I didn't play 5-6.
Yeah, J-Lo decided to take a peek and decided, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Oh, there were a couple of levels. Like when I found 8-1, I just noped out of there.
Yeah.
I hate playing 8-1. I hate playing 7-8 too.
Yeah, you skip both of those. I'm not terribly surprised in either case. So no hammer for J-Lo, but that's probably not going to have much of an impact. Given the choices, he'll probably decide to play 8 Fort anyways. My guess.
So this is one of the reasons. Oh yeah, guys, I forgot to say it, but I hit the button. So of course the seed's terrible because I hit the button.
Of course you did. Yeah. Well. At least you can blame yourself for this. Probably a little easier on some level than blaming somebody else because it'd say, "Well, I screwed myself." So yeah, overall level selection kind of a mixed bag. I mean, we only had, I think, 2 lost levels. No 7F2, no 6-5.
I don't mind 6-5 at all. 6-5 is pretty quick.
Yeah, 6-6 was there, but you noped out of that one.
Yeah, 6-6 is one of those levels where if I find it, just no.
7-5 at least was not on the board.
Another thing that I was very happy about is that the clips went well.
Yeah, second try, I think that was on 7-1. Very, very impressive, especially since you, I believe, had a raccoon ability.
I did.
So
I wasn't too happy to see 7-1 at the start of World 8 because I had just used a P-Wing on the last airship. Since there's certain airships where having a P-Wing can be useful, and I couldn't think of any other levels where P-Wing would be helpful. And then I got 7-1, and I'm like, how long is this thing gonna take? Even if you don't have a leaf, it's always the question, how long is it gonna take?
we're about to find out with J-Lo. He's unfortunately got that one spot with the that one pipe with the music box. He got a red Rana plan, just barely avoided that.
Oh, speaking of speaking of Hammer Bros, boy, I almost had a disaster early on.
Yeah, you with the 2 giant ones in the water. Yeah, it's like I've been there. That is very very unpleasant.
And the Hammer Brothers situation in general is why if I have a lot of stars, especially early in the game, I will blindly star every Hammer Brother that I get to just because because you might remember that I blindly starred a double Fire Brother, Water Hammer Brother.
Yeah.
And if you get into that situation and you die to those Hammer Brothers, you're almost guaranteed to just get a game over.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very close to the end of the world, I believe. So a game over at that point would have been extremely costly and possibly from what I'm seeing, could have made the difference in the race.
It could have. I think you'd still be in the lead, but that's just assuming that everything goes exactly the way it would have had you just played the same game you're playing right now. But because he's about to head on his way to Bowser, so
I see that.
Yeah, overall, he's about 10 plus minutes. He'll be about 12, 13 minutes behind you overall, I'd say.
But I know J-Lo from a lot of other randomizers, and he's new to this randomizer, so the fact that he's putting up this kind of time on a seed like this is a testament to how much he's improved.
Yeah.
One thing that's helped me play this randomizer well is I have actually done runs of vanilla before.
Yeah, so have I, and even just playing it casually can be an enormous boost, just because it allows you to understand the basic structure of the levels, if nothing else, and that can save you a lot of time.
Oh, that too. Did J-Lo ever get the 1F item? Because I had a leaf going to that level. Was it garbage?
It was a fire flower.
Okay, so nothing important.
No, I mean, nice to have, but yeah, it was like, was that the fabled hammer? Well, no, turned out it wasn't.
I was looking for either like a hammer or even a hammer suit at that point. I didn't find a single hammer suit either for Bowser.
You guys were over on that one too, so a very low hammer content seed for sure. That's very unusual. I mean, I've had seeds where the hammers start out bunches, you get a couple right off the bat, and then it goes dark the rest of the way.
I'd rather have that than what it was with this race, with just no hammers at all.
Yeah.
Until the end of the game.
You couldn't use it, and you couldn't skip World 1, you couldn't skip the second half of World 5, so you really had to play it through.
Couldn't skip nothing. It was like playing seeds back when I used to beta test because one of the more recent things that was added to the randomizer, as I'm sure you mentioned at some point, was hammers having the capability of breaking locked doors. But back when I
Right.
was beta testing for Fred, we didn't have that capability, so we actually saw most of the levels every time we played.
Yeah, and I've played those. I played that version, and while it was possible to break 60 minutes in a randomizer, it was less common because you really needed the hammers to get you out of a couple of tight spots, and you needed a really good draw with the pipes. But in this version, the accomplished runners can usually finish in under 60 with no trouble.
I would say under 50.
Yeah.
I mean, not to discredit JLo, he's doing
No,
a
no,
fantastic
but
job on the seed. But if you look at tournament results, especially towards the second half of the bracket, you'll see all over the place of cases where sub 50 is not good enough.
No.
Matter of fact, I know there was a for fun race I think that Fonzoid and I did just after the tournament where there was a losing sub 40.
Yeah, one of the tournament races did end that way as with a sub 40. I think I think Paradox lost with sub 40. It was one way or the other, but
if it's to Duckfist, if it's Paradox and Duckfist, I mean Duckfist he's in the finals, so he's really good at this game.
Yeah, and let's get out our GGs, by the way, for JLo7, who rallies very nicely and finishes with an official time of 1 hour, 2 minutes on the nose. So GGs to JLo7, as Raiko said, is relatively new to this, and took some lumps early, but did a very fine job.
Actually, while you're getting JLo in here, I need to talk to...
He'll come in for a quick chat.
Looks like we'll get him in here, but I need to talk to Tetra as well about getting the seed for the next run.
Oh yes, the Mario 2 rando, correct?
Yes, so, that's immediately after this, and hopefully Barnall and I will be able to put on a good show. It'll be a lot of fun.
So as it is with Mario 3. So welcome JLo7, GG on your exhibition run.
Thank you.
That was a nice time.
Yeah, it's like remarkably free of hammers, this one. You didn't get it, but one of the Hammer brothers in the Desert World actually did have a hammer. Not that it would have done much good.
Yeah, at that point, it wasn't worth digging for.
Yeah. Like, you're already there. You're already pretty much to the end. Like, just go for it. But, overall impressions on the seed?
Overall, it was a pretty good seed overall. Despite the lack of hammers, that's still a best run for me by about 5 minutes.
Really?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You've come a long way.
Yeah. And, a lot of there's just like a couple of unfortunate, hiccups here and there, but overall, no, it went, especially I think once you got out of World 5, I think you really settled in.
Yeah, World 5 is the one I really wish I had a hammer.
Well, yeah.
Don't we all? Yeah,
like, saved you a lot of aggravation, but the level set in general for World 5 was not especially kind. I mean, 7/8's in there, and that's always awful. But so since you participated in the tournament and now this exhibition, what would you like to see for the next version of Randomizer?
Um, that's a good question. I'm not sure what else could be added.
Well,
I mean, there's got to be something, but
Fred has made an amazing product, and
yeah,
if it hasn't already been said, give some shout outs to Fred for making what is arguably the greatest platforming randomizer of all time so far in our
yeah,
community. Like his randomizer for this game, like randomizing platformers is very difficult to do, and he has done it in such a way that it makes you want to play the game again and again and again.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like I said during the race, this is already arguably one of the five greatest games of all time, depending on who you are. And you know, kind of give a fresh spin to this game, uh, and the way it was executed is pretty remarkable. Now, did he do the Mario 2 rando, by the way?
No, he did not.
No.
No, he did not. That's Tetrale's doing.
Okay. But yeah, it's nice to know. I've seen some of the other Mario randomizers out there, but this one, just because of the way the game is structured, I think is really a cut above. So, well,
I don't disagree with you. Anyway, I'm having some technical difficulties on my end, so I'm actually going to need to duck out of the interview early and restart my computer.
no, that's fine. Good luck in the Mario 2 rando.
Thanks.
All
yeah,
right.
good luck with Mario 2.
Yeah. Kind of curious to see how that works exactly, and I'm sure it can't be all that different than Mario 3, but that game is an interesting character on its own. So kind of twists and turns they threw into that one. So, I guess before we let you go, any other final thoughts, impressions? You gonna watch the final?
I plan to if I'm done with other things early enough.
Well, I'm sure though. I know they started like 20, 30 minutes late, so I'm sure it's going on right now.
Yeah, they're probably just getting ready for round 2. I'm not sure.
Quick peek. Yeah. So, well, I think that will do it. Once again, GG's to Ryko Ryder and JLo7 for their fine runs tonight and putting on a good show of the Mario 3 randomizer. Again, check out the Mario 3 randomizer Discord. Great community. Always a good race going on and a lot of support. And, the tournament we're doing wraps up tonight, actually, but I'm sure there'll be another one, and I'm sure there's going to be more people participating in the next one, given the level of enthusiasm we've had. Other than that, coming up next, we will have the Mario 2 randomizer. That should be an interesting race. Ryko Ryder will be doing an encore. He'll be racing against Barn Owl. So good luck to both of them. I'm Pro8007, and thank you for having me tonight. It was a lot of fun to step in at the last second here and help out these guys. And I hope I explained the randomizer well to you guys. So thank you.